Alrighty, folks. Thank you for joining us for episode 5 of the Let's Talk About It podcast. The show or the podcast where we kind of just talk about those first couple of years outside of music school, and navigating profession, navigating life, all the adulting things that people don't really tell you about or glorify. And so I have another friend from undergrad here today, Miriam. Now it's McMullan because she got married. I know it was probably a little while ago, but still, I was like, I saw the screen name too, and I was just like, oh, I forgot. Period.
Yeah.
Okay. so,
Formerly
um,
Howell.
Formerly Al, that's how I know you as. Yes, so thank you so much for joining, and I'll kind of let you just give yourself a introduction.
Right. Thank you so much for having me. This is so exciting, and I'm excited to talk about this topic because it's such a niche topic.
Hmm.
Um, Again, my name is Miriam McMullan. I currently teach seventh and eighth grade choir and show choir, and I'm based in North Alabama. Um, this is my fourth year teaching. So, and I've been at the same school the entire time. So I've had steady, same job the entire time I've been here. And this was the first job that I had right out of college that I'm still currently at. So that's kind of where I'm at. Personally, yes, married, no kids. Yes, no kids, living my best life. Um, I'm working currently on my master's degree at Jacksonville State
Ooh,
University. I'm
nice.
I'm getting my it's all online, but I'm
Hmm.
getting my master's degree in music ed.
Nice. Okay. So
Yeah.
how does that navigate? Like, especially with it being fully online, are you like is it a lot of readings?
Yes.
And I'm guessing you're also submitting um uh like demonstrations of like how you're teaching in the classroom and stuff like that.
Yes. I will say this degree has been, dare I say, easy. Um like compared to undergrad, it's like this is a cakewalk compared to undergrad. Um, Especially being online, like I
Yes.
can just tippy type my life away and get it done. Like easy. Um, and I have to spend hours in the practice room.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
a lot of, or I'm in a class, I'm in my last semester right now, so I'm going to graduate in May. Um, and all of my like final courses are like kind of how to conduct music research,
Mhm.
some conducting things. I just have to submit videos of me in the classroom teaching. And it's not a lot of videos. It's like once every couple of weeks. So it's not anything crazy. Um, and I started out the degree in summer of 2024, and I
Mhm.
just started slowly because I had been out of school for 2.5 years, give or take.
Makes sense.
Um, yeah, and so I hadn't done any schoolwork in a long time. So I eased back into it. I took one class at a time for the first like 3 semesters, and then this semester I was like, well, I want to graduate, so I'm taking 10 hours this semester.
Oh, that's full time basically. Like, I think so, because I think most programs are like 8 hours,
It
8 or more
is.
hours full time. So, like, okay, wow, a multitasking queen. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's good. So what made you want to get the master's? Like, is it like a
So
requirement for, because I know some school districts it's like a requirement to get like continued education through either certificates or like a master or something like that.
I knew for a very long time that I wanted to do a master's degree.
Hmm.
When I was in undergrad, I really thought I would do my master's in performance. But then
Mm.
COVID happened, and that changed everything.
That's
Um,
fair.
so after teaching for like 2 years, my school that I teach at offers a scholarship program through the local university that I go to.
Mhm.
Um, and so I get a discount on tuition. And it just kind
Mm.
of made sense because I also wasn't thinking about leaving the field anytime soon. So I was
Nice.
like, let's just do it. Let's get a pay bump. That was the biggest motivator more than anything else was to get pay raise because it's
Mhm.
pretty significant. Um, I
Mhm.
believe it's like to $10,000 a year.
Okay, nice. Okay, yeah, that's
So
definitely worth it.
yeah, and it felt right. It also I crunched all the numbers, and it was going to take me like 2 to 3 years for me to break even. So that seemed like it was worth it. Um, in the long span because I don't know how long I'm going to teach, but I
That's
might
fair.
as well make more money while I'm in it, I guess.
That makes sense. No, and you're first so far in the series in two ways. One, that you are still at the school that you started at. A lot of the other guests that I've had so far have transitioned one or two schools and like even like levels within the same school district and stuff like that. So I guess is that kind of like a testament to how um, like just do you have a pretty good supportive school district like in general? Again, I'm not trying to get nobody in trouble, so don't I'm not pressuring you to say
Yeah.
anything too much, but
Um, in in comparison to my friends that I've talked to that work in education as music educators, I do feel like I have more of a support in the district.
Mhm.
If you ask people in my district that, they may not say yes. But what I've kind of learned in education is everywhere is going to have issues. You
Absolutely.
have to pick the issues that you want to deal with. Because no job is going to be perfect. And my job has definitely not been perfect. There are things that I deal with on a daily basis that drive me up the wall. But I do feel like that's something you have to take with a grain of salt, um, give or take. And I haven't quit yet. So
No, I get that. I'm in the same boat. So I'm in higher ed. So I'm doing graduate admissions for a non-music program, which we can get into, but and how I've kind of been balancing between that. But I have enjoyed it. I mean, just first off, I work at a Big Ten school, so like the benefits in and of itself, like I turned 26 in August, and I was like stressing over insurance. I was talking to some other friends, and they're like, okay, what's like, how much are you paying, and what do you all get? And I'm like reading down the list of things, and like I was like, I think I'm paying like da 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 this much, something like that. They're looking at me like you're only paying that much and like you have like no copays or like a $25 copay here or that and like your deductibles are like $0 and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, is that good? And they're like, that's really good. And then also like with the benefits of like I get 2 vacation days a month, so 24 a year. And some people get like maybe
that's
2 weeks
good.
a year, and a 2 to 1 retirement, which I need to do. I do need to do, but so that like you double the retirement that you put in there too. So like, do I wish the pay was a little bit better? Yes, I'm very vocal about that. But I feel you a lot on like the picking your battles because at the end of the day, like I have a great team, and I do like the work that I'm doing. There's always going to be like one or two things not great. But yeah, okay, that's great. So the other thing that's you're also kind of unique in is that that I think a couple other people that I've talked to, they're if they are getting a master's, they aren't really getting it in music. Like they may be thinking about transitioning outside of that. So yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
I also just think that uh, that's not unique in the grand sense of things, but I think it just opens up the
Yes.
discussion for a couple of other things to talk about. So you said you don't see yourself teaching forever, but like grand scheme, like what are you thinking? Are you thinking about PhD even and like anything like that, or
See, I don't know because I feel like saying Dr. Miriam McMullan sounds comical because I still look like I'm 12. Um, like like when older educators walk into my classroom, they're like, "Where's Miss McMullan?" Because I blend in with the kids. Like, if you
Right.
look at me from the back, sometimes the kids don't know that I'm the teacher if they don't see me from the front.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that sounds comical. Um, if I did pursue a PhD, it would be like down the road, like 10,
Okay.
15 years from now.
That's fair.
If I just was feeling crazy and was like, yeah, let's get another degree, but
Okay. That's
I
fair.
don't foresee that anytime soon.
Okay, cool. That's the recruiter in me that had to ask. I'm always asking, what's the next level if you're thinking about that, even though I have a visceral reaction when people ask me if I want to get a PhD because I can't think about that right now. It makes me want to throw up still. And it's been
Yeah.
3 years since my master's, so like I can't do it. But another reason why I wanted to kind of ask that too is, well, actually, kind of transitioning. So staying in the same school district too. Are you from that? Because like our undergrad is in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. So remind me, are you from Alabama? Or are you from Mississippi?
I'm from Mississippi. I'm originally from Picayune, Mississippi, which is like an hour
Okay.
south of Hattiesburg,
Mhm.
um, really close to New Orleans area. I think it's actually considered the greater New Orleans area. Um,
Really? Okay.
yeah, because it's a suburb pretty much. After Katrina happened, a
Mhm.
lot of people moved to that area out of New Orleans, so it became kind of considered a suburb of New Orleans. Um, so that's
Mm.
the area that I'm from and I grew up in. And then I went to USM for undergrad. And then I graduated from USM in December of 2021.
Okay.
And in the spring of 2022, I spent a whole semester as a permanent sub
Mm.
at a fifth and sixth grade school, and I hated it. I hated it. I hated being a sub. It
That's fair.
was the worst. And it wasn't the school. It was
Mhm.
just the job that subs have to do and the crap they have to deal with from kids because the kids don't respect them because they're going to be in there for 1 maybe 2 days, and
Yes.
they're not going to see them again.
Mhm.
um just the level of disrespect and audacity that kids have in general, but as a sub
Mhm.
was insane. um
I'm seeing the
and
war
I
flashbacks in your eyes right
yeah,
now. Like,
yeah. Like I had to spend eighth period, sixth grade PE with them every day because one of the coaches would go to coach softball or something. And so I had to be in there every day. That was a unique situation because in the morning I filled in for the music teacher who was
mhm.
assisting at the middle school. Um, so I filled in for her. And then the rest of the day I would float around until eighth period PE. Um,
Mhm.
so there were some days where, no teachers needed a sub. But I was in the building every single day. Um,
Oh, okay. And we're
yeah,
still getting paid even if the sub they didn't even need a sub for like a certain class. Okay, that's pretty good though, like
it
stable
was
wise.
good.
Yeah,
It
but
was stable work. It was
okay.
not no benefits or anything like that because I was still a sub.
Okay.
Um, but that I knew when I went into that it was going to be temporary because
Of course.
I was certified at that point. I wanted a real
Yeah,
job.
of course.
And I did get paid more because I was a certified sub.
Hmm.
So, and they felt more comfortable leaving me with any group of children than like a different sub because I was a teacher. Um, but I do think that whole year where I student taught in the fall and then subbed in the spring was very important for things like classroom management and learning watching different teachers teach because I got a very wide variety of teachers during that year that I saw teach. I think that was important for me before I went into the classroom as the
Hmm.
teacher for the first time because I vividly remember my first day at my job that I have now.
Okay.
And um, I closed the door for first period after the bell rang. And before I could say anything, I dropped my coffee on the floor. And the kids just silently watched me clean up the coffee. they didn't know me and I didn't know them yet. So it was just awkward. Me cleaning up the coffee with a bunch of seventh and eighth graders staring at, and they're just as scared as I am because it's the first day of school.
Like, is she about to crash out right now? Are we seeing something the first day? Like,
I'd close the door, drop the coffee everywhere, and they probably went, "This is gonna be a year. It's gonna be a year." I'm like, "Oh God, this young."
okay. So how did you navigate outside the street? You just cleaned it up and then you just went business as is?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
makes
I just
sense.
acted like it didn't happen, and
Okay, that
that's
makes
another
sense.
thing that I think doesn't get taught to us as educators is you have to fake it until you make it.
Yeah.
Um, that it is not hit home at any point while I was an undergrad. They did not tell us you're going to have these days where you do not know what you're doing and you're just going to have to wing it and fake it until you figure
Hmm.
it out. Um, that's been my motto since then, and I've figured stuff out along the way. And I remember my mentor teacher said to me, he was like, you have so much confidence. And I was like, what other choice do I have?
Oh,
Like,
I love that. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the only thing. I mean, that's the only thing I can rely on right now. I don't have experience and like
right.
those classes were during COVID, so like I don't half of that has been erased out of my mind
Yeah.
anyway. So like that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Like
I feel that.
I didn't even get a lot of observation hours during undergrad because that
Mm,
course that I was for observation
hmm.
was when COVID happened.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I think I observed like two class periods and then we went
Mhm.
online.
Damn. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely tough too. And I agree. Like I've recently, like towards the beginning of this year, subbed in for my first like private lessons, which it took me a long time to figure out that I'm more, because obviously I'm not teaching right now, so I'm not a large ensemble person. I'm more of a one-on-one type of person, and that kind of reflects in the work that I do on a daily basis anyway at my current job. So uh, I was super, super nervous because I'm like, oh God, I haven't even been in like a teaching mindset or anything like that. But yeah, faked it until I made it. Because at the end of the day, like you truly do know more than this middle schooler. Like so, even at
Yeah.
like clarinet is my secondary instrument, and by secondary I mean like I'm probably at like a junior high school level of playing, but it's still better than this sixth grader that's playing bass clarinet for the first time. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, cool, cool, cool. And then I had like one or two saxophone kids, and then I was like, okay, that I at least know I'm good because that's my main. So it ended up being fun too, and then it just ended up being more comfortable. So even if I haven't like been in an education mindset or like a teaching space for 5 years, like it's truly is like I won't say like ingrained in me because I wasn't the best student, but like it's easier than we make it sometimes in our head.
Yes. I think when you walk into a classroom and you're unexperienced, you psych yourself out about a lot of stuff and you think really hard and it's not
Hmm.
that deep. Um, because now I don't, this is a hot take. I don't have to lesson plan anymore.
Oh, I love that for you. I love that for you. I think that's another thing too, is that like we went into these lesson plans so much, but like I'm looking back at my own high school and middle school experiences, like yeah, like sixth grade and seventh grade, sure, but after a little while, like it was just like, especially for teaching an ensemble, like you know what we're doing. Like we're working
Yeah.
on these pieces. You know, we have a competition coming up. We have these little things, and there might be little things like for me, it was scales, tests, and stuff like that that they added in for like quiz grades and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you know what's going on around here. It's the same thing we do every day, Peaky. I think that's the quote from Peaky in the Brain. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So like you know, so like at a certain point, I it sounds like y'all shouldn't have to lesson plan unless you really just like the monotony of it.
Yeah. One thing that I have done different this year versus other years. Because I'm always trying to top myself and be
Okay.
better as a teacher. Um, just because I get fueled by like I didn't have middle school
Mm.
education that I should have had. So I want to give these kids the best possible experience that they can have.
Mhm.
So I didn't get it. And I remind them of that all the time. I'm like, I didn't get to do this, and you're lucky. A lot of places don't even have choral programs. So
That's
shut up
fair.
and do sight reading.
Back in my day.
Back in my day, back in my day, we didn't even know what a whole note was. We didn't even know. Nobody taught
Oh
us.
my gosh. My
Only
high
reason
school
I knew
teacher
music
used to do
theory is because
that.
I took piano.
My high school teacher did that. She when like sometimes when people would like complaining about stuff, she was like, when I got here, the band only knew one scale and they knew it as the scale. They didn't know it was a B flat concert
You
scale,
scale.
and they didn't know that there were more scales out there. That's the only thing they knew. And when she was like, okay, let's go on to E flat, they were like, what? And they had a panic attack. So like they didn't have a panic attack, but like she found out right then and there what she's dealing with. So
No, but so my first year teaching, I I wanted to promote musical literacy because I think that's so important. But I hadn't figured out how to do it yet. And it was a lot of trial and error and me collaborating with one of our teachers at the high school.
Mhm.
She also graduated from USM, Samantha
Oh, nice.
Brandon. But she kind of mentored me the first 2 years that I was teaching.
Nice.
Um, so I watched her teach sight reading. She gave me some feedback. We went and observed some other choral directors in like the
Mhm.
Birmingham area, watched them teach it. Um, it became it became a lot easier the more I saw people teach it, and it made more sense up there for me. Because if I don't understand it, they ain't gonna understand.
I feel that I'm the same way. Like if I'm not comfortable at all if I don't know it like the back of my hand. I can't wing
Yes,
it in that way. But you brought up a
yes,
good point, and that's like post graduation mentorship too. So like, did you
that's
seek
important.
out that mentorship, or like did someone mention that? Oh, you graduated from here. Well, this other person did too, and then kind of like connected you that way.
So I'll just tell the story of how I got my current job.
Okay.
So I was still living in Hattiesburg and I
Hmm.
was subbing. And my mentor teacher was like, hey, you should apply for this job that's in North Alabama. And I was like, okay. And he put me in contact with my now really like best friend Amanda. He put me in contact with her and she told me about the job. We did a Zoom interview because I was like, I'm not driving 5 hours up there to do an interview. So we did a Zoom interview. Funny enough, I had COVID during the interview, which was
Yikes.
will you make it? So sitting at my kitchen table, COVID, doing an interview. And prior to this, I had felt like crap because I
Mhm.
had interviewed for probably like 5 to 6 jobs in person in Mississippi, and
Yeah.
I had not gotten an offer.
Mm-hmm.
And I was stressing because it was June.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, am I going to have to sub for another year? Or am I just going to have to quit and do something totally different? Because I don't think I can sub for a full year. Um, so I interviewed for the job. I After it, I felt good. I was like, maybe I'm gonna get offered this job. Um,
Okay.
and then the next day, the principal called me and offered me the job. And I didn't even ask anybody. When he called me initially, I said, yeah, let's do it. Um, and then I had 3 weeks until the first day of school to pack up my entire life in Mississippi and move 5 hours away. And
And find an
that
apartment and oh, okay.
Yeah, I said we're just gonna full send. We're gonna do it.
Okay.
It was the best decision I've ever made. Um,
Period. Okay.
I took a leap of faith when I did that one. And my now husband, we were still dating at the time. He was like, "Well, I'm gonna come with you." He was like, "I don't know what I'm gonna do." But we came up here and stayed in a hotel to try and find somewhere to live in the area. And he did a phone
Mhm.
interview while we were up here, and he got offered a job in his field
Oh,
same day.
nice.
So we
Oh,
both
nice.
had career jobs in order to move up here, and it's been the best decision we could have made. We would do it again in a heartbeat. Um,
Okay.
Great
Power
for
couple.
us.
Wow. Okay. Movers and shakers. Okay.
Yes. We were like, well, we're gonna do it. Here we go. It was scary. And that's something that nobody talks about when you get a job offer post grad and you are like, okay, I'm gonna pack up my whole life and move away from everything and everybody that I know. It is scary. I remember setting up the charter Wi-Fi box, sitting on the floor of our first house and crying because
Mhm.
I was like, I don't know. I'm scared. I don't know what this is gonna do, who we're gonna be. We're gonna do it. I'm scared. And it was fine. I knew it was gonna be fine, but it was still daunting. Um, Anyways, so I move up there. Amanda mentored me the first 2 years. And she was appointed by the school district to be my mentor. Um,
Okay.
they have a program through the school district where if there's any first year teachers, they receive a mentor for the first year, and the mentor gets compensated for that.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That's not common in other school districts.
No. That I'm assuming both the mentorship and the paid being a mentee or mentor. Yeah. So like, okay, that is nice. That's that support. Okay, that makes
Yes.
sense.
She helped me through all of the things that you don't learn in undergrad, like how
Mhm.
to budget for a program, how to do fundraisers. We are not teaching our kids how to do fundraisers and what actually works and how
Mhm.
to be organized when you do stuff like this and
Mhm.
how to give instruction to your ensembles for things that happen outside of school and
Mhm.
those type of like administrative tasks that we don't get taught. And I think if I ever become like a mentor teacher, that is something that I will harp on as a mentor teacher is you have to have systems in place for those kinds of things that happen in a program that's extracurricular. Because if you
Mhm.
don't have that, and it snowballs into mass chaos and you have parents angry at you, that's another thing. They don't teach you how to talk to parents.
Mm.
That's important. Um, and I'm lucky in the fact that I have a demeanor that's not threatening towards these parents.
Mhm.
And I'm also more level-headed than other people. And I haven't taken a lot of stuff personally when
Mhm.
parents get angry and they say you're a terrible teacher, and you don't know how to teach, but they're never in the classroom. So you have to learn how to have the sweat roll off your back for those kinds of
Yeah.
things. And replying to parents like via email or whatever, like the band app or whatever communication app you use is a skill that does not get taught.
Mhm.
You have to learn that on the job, and it can hurt your feelings a lot because parents will say the most outlandish stuff to you
Because it's
and
always
not
you and never their kid.
yes. And they will blame you for their kids' shortcomings and not use any punctuation, capitalization, or any grammatical things that they should have learned in school. It will be one run on sentence as an email, and then they will accuse you of not teaching their child anything. Yeah.
Okay. No, that sounds about right from what I've heard from some other friends about some of the worst parent interactions. And that's a really good point about that too. And like I think even like I think that it's like a secondary methods type of class. Like it's set topics in class, like learning how fundraising works and like giving just having examples and resources too. And like for even for like composers and performers and stuff like that, like having like a resource of like these are like really good task management slash schedule like applications and stuff like that that you can use. It's like I set up a lot of my stuff through Calendly for appointments and stuff like that, but like having that resource already available. I think in grad school, there was like in the education courses, they kind of had those available, and there was like one like performer specific one for those who were like planning on teaching, having their own studio and teaching lessons. But that's a really good point about like, I mean, I guess at this point it's not up to classes, but maybe that's something I could put together, like kind of just like resources for like tried and true fundraisers for like um you know scheduling and task management things like that just to kind of have available for people and kind of just survey some educators. I think that would be like a nice resource to have.
Yeah, especially for those that are fresh out of school and
Hmm.
heading into the field and they have no idea how to do any of that. And even if they have good skills towards organization, they don't have those tools and
Yes.
know when to use those tools.
Hmm.
And that's kind of what Amanda mentored me, to use those tools and how she was using them. Um, and it made things a lot smoother for me and for kids and parents. And it made me seem like I had my crap together.
Isn't that the biggest compliment when people are like, oh my god, you're so organized? And I'm like,
I'm like,
me?
yes, thank you. Now I am like ridiculously type A.
Okay.
But having these things that I can like latch onto has made me even crazier type A.
Hmm.
Um, and so like I'll release itineraries and schedules and stuff like month in advance. Like because and the parents will be like, can we get a schedule for this competition that we're going to? I'm like, I sent it out 2 weeks ago, babes. Read the messages that I sent.
Not the
So
babes.
now it's just kind of like babes. I'm so on top of it that y'all don't even know that I'm on top of it.
And now they know.
Oh, and I
Check
think I
before
think
you ask.
yes, go read. They don't read. Nobody reads anymore. Oh my
Oh,
word.
don't even get me on started on that. Oh my gosh.
That's a whole topic itself.
It is. I have people with PhDs that I send emails to, and they're like, "Where's this resource at?" And it's like, "So remember 2 weeks ago when I yeah." So
Yeah,
anyway, what were you gonna say? Sorry.
read. So it's oh, I had a point and I can't remember what it was gonna be. Maybe it'll come back to me.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
don't know.
So, before I press record, and you don't have to go all the way into it, but we were talking about show choir, and that's your current season and biggest stressor. So, like, I thought it would be nice for the choir folk, like, how are you navigating like that busy and packed schedule? You mentioned like you definitely cut down shows and stuff like that. So maybe also could you talk about how you decided which competitions to like cut down on as well?
So again, when I came in as a first year teacher, my schedule was already set for me, and I had about I think we went to 5 competitions 5 weeks in a row. And then when I wasn't with my middle schoolers, I was assisting the high school. So it was really, for me, it was like 8 weeks in a row
Mm,
of weekends that I had to give up. Not to mention after school rehearsals, um, building sets, painting sets,
mm,
um, scheduling stuff with, you know, band and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, so that was my first year teaching, really, really difficult to adjust to. Um, and I had done show choir before, so I knew kind of what the schedule was going to be, but so different from a director standpoint.
mhm.
And I understand why schools give bigger stipends to choral directors that do show choir. Because the amount of work outside of school that we are required to do is a lot more than a regular choral director is doing.
Mm.
And I'm not knocking regular choral directors. Um, Regular choral directors, I am jealous of y'all that you don't have to put up with a lot of the stuff that happens in show choir. Um, but if you're in an area that puts an emphasis on show choir, you're kind of tied to that. And that's kind of where I am at. There's a long history of show choir at the school that I teach at, and I'm expected to continue that tradition.
Hmm.
So, and the program that I'm in, it has been in a rebuilding phase for a long time.
Mm.
Um, and the last 4 years, I have been actively trying to rebuild the program, with everything fighting against me that could possibly fight against me that you could ever imagine. But I have seen some progress. I have seen some growth. Um, but at the middle school level, it's really about getting them on the stage, letting them sing and dance, and getting them off the stage without anyone pee, poop, or dying. That's really like if we make it through for a middle school show choir, if we make it through, everyone made it on stage in their costume and sang and danced and came off the stage in one piece, we did a great job.
Okay, gotcha.
That's how I feel about middle school show choir. Um, some schools that have more reputable programs would probably feel different.
Hmm.
Um, but if you're in a place where you're rebuilding a program, that is all that has to happen. If
Absolutely.
you did that, you're successful. Um, and you can never predict what them 12-year-olds are going to do. You can't.
That is true. That is true. I've heard of a lot of
They,
fainting. I've heard of
yeah,
like a lot of things like
yeah.
that.
It gets hot up there on that stage. Um, But so over the last couple of years, I've dialed back the number of competitions that they're doing because I think
Hmm.
also they need something to look forward to when they get to high school.
Hmm.
Um, and, looking forward is, oh, we get to do more competitions and oh, we might get to travel further to go to a competition. So where I'm at in North Alabama, the closest competitions that we can attend are about an hour and a half away. Um,
Hmm.
so I've dialed it back to those competitions only. So there's two of them that they will go to. In the previous years, we have gone all the way down to Auburn, which is about a 3 hour drive. And
Hmm.
if you've never done a 3 hour bus ride with middle schoolers, you don't know. You
And I don't want to know.
don't want to know.
I
Um,
don't.
you don't want to know because they're having the time of their life back there, and you're thinking about um, literally being anywhere else. I had on noise canceling headphones, like Bose noise canceling headphones that
Hmm.
can block out a 747 aircraft, but not them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no. No, no, no. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'll Uber. Yeah, they'll make it there. No, no. Oh God.
And all the parent volunteers are like, oh, we'll drive down there and we'll just meet you there. I'm like, yeah, because you don't want to sit on the bus for 3 hours with your crazy children. I wouldn't either, but that's my job. So we've cut that competition because I can't handle that long of a, but oh,
Okay. Sorry.
what?
I know. I did get like a hand gestures notification or something like that, but I thought, okay, my bad.
Surprise. That's great. Yeah, that's exactly what my mind was doing when I was on the bus. Fireworks. It's my mind exploding. Um, but a lot of it has just been me adjusting, having systems in place when we travel, which is
Hmm.
we're going to travel next week. So this weekend we had off, but next weekend's a big weekend for us. Um, and they'll compete. And I love them to death and they've worked so hard. I'm going to have the conversation with them this week that they're not going to place. Um,
Mm,
it is what it is.
yeah.
And I hate crushing their spirit because they don't know all of the factors that they're up against,
Hmm.
that are out of their control. And so to put it in perspective, middle school show choir is very different than high school show choir. In high
Okay.
school, you have divisions that separate by how many performers are on stage.
Okay.
In middle school, you don't. It's just all one big division. So this year is a really small group for me. Just the grades that are in middle school right now are have been dubbed some of the worst grades to come through the system. Um, and I only have 22 kids in my show choir.
Because there's a restriction on who can do electives based off the grades.
No, just because I didn't have as much of an
Oh,
interest
sorry,
in
sorry.
it.
You meant grades as in like sixth, seventh, and eighth. Like there's just a smaller classes.
Yes. Smaller groups of children that are interested in doing anything.
Okay. Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's weird and most of them are in seventh grade. Because at
Mhm.
our school we only have seventh and eighth grade.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so I only have 22 and they're gonna compete against groups that have 70.
Oh, yeah.
So like 50 to 70 at all times on stage. And they're middle schoolers. They cannot make the same sound
Hmm.
that a group that large can make. Um,
And bigger
so
ensembles might also mean bigger budgets, which means
mhm.
stage
Oh,
production.
that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, because I know that from marching band. It's like because we were a smaller 6A, and we went up against like Ocean Springs and Biloxi and stuff like that, and they just had a bigger budget, bigger bands and stuff like that. So like our production would be like yay, and their production would be like an actual like theatrical
Yeah,
thing with like all these like field placements and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, okay,
it's humbling.
okay, that makes sense.
Now, I but we can segue into budgeting because that has a lot to do with show choir. Um,
Mm,
and there's so many niche things that are just specific to show choir that I have to deal with in my specific job that a lot of educators don't have to deal with. Um,
okay,
one of them is budgeting. I told my class last week, I said, show choir is not a poor person's sport
that is
because
true.
it's not. Um, my students at the middle school pay $400 a piece in fees.
Ooh.
So, and they compete against groups that pay $1,500 plus in fees
Hmm.
before fundraising, prior to fundraising.
Hmm.
Um, I teach in a Title I school. Um,
Okay.
so that contributes to it. There is not, and I will also say there has been less interest the time that I've been there for show choir specifically
Mhm.
because, you know, groceries are getting higher and gas is going up and like whatever prices are everything's so expensive, just the cost of living itself is so expensive. And I understand if you're trying to make ends meet and then your 12-year-old comes home and says I want to try out for show choir and it's $400 and they're like we're struggling to put food on the table. No, it's like
You're
I
gonna
get
do
it.
this $50 thing, like these
Yeah,
dues in the choir or art or something like that. That only like I only had to buy like a paintbrush set or something like that. I can get off
yeah,
Amazon. Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
And like our I will say our band program is phenomenal
Hmm.
at the school that I teach at, and they make it very affordable to be a part of the band program. So, if kid comes home and says, I want to do band and show choir, they're like, oh, you can do band, pay the $25 band fee, and that's what you're going to do because I'm not paying $400 for you
Yeah.
show choir. Um,
And it's a little different too because like bands like depending on the the arts funding that's in the area as well, and like other resources. Like I know the Detroit Symphony Orchestra, they do like instrument drives and things like that for
Mm-hmm.
local high schools. So like they have physical things. So the most expensive thing about band is the instruments. But if
Mm-hmm.
certain school districts can provide the instruments, then that knocks out a big chunk of the cost, and therefore
Yep.
you can really only just focus on the dues. But y'all just have you have your voice, and then on top of that with show choir costumes that are different
Yes.
every year and
Yes.
props that are different every year. So like those things change too. That makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. I
Yeah.
see what you're saying.
A lot of the hidden cost in show choir comes from, yes, the costume. You can see that. That's very evident. Musical arrangements
Yeah, a
cost a
good
lot.
quality one. I've
Yeah.
thought about getting into that stuff, and people have told me that if you know how to
There's a lot of money to
arrange,
be made.
yes, yes.
Yeah. My arranger arranged their show this year. He did 5 songs for them.
Hmm.
He's fantastic. This is the first year I've used him. And I will not go back after this because every penny has been worth it. He will do
Nice.
rehearsal tracks with them, part
Mm-hmm.
tracks, like tracks with just instrumentals on it, and then he arranges everything for the show choir band as well.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah.
So
So that's
it
that's well
was,
worth it.
I think it was 3,500 for that. Um,
Yeah, that sounds about right.
yeah, I'm pretty sure yeah, it was 3,500. So that cost, that's a lot. That has been so worth it for me as a teacher too, because I'm not worried about the quality of the arrangement. Um,
Mhm. And you don't also
and
have to like
you
put in
know,
because
it's
I've heard of people like having to like make their own like kind of backtrackings with things and like just kind of plug it into like a
yes.
music notation software just so that they can have and like for other parts. So like this person sounds real professional and like very thorough. So I'm glad you were able to find
Yes.
somebody that could take
Yes.
that off your shoulders because if you don't come from like I mean anybody can put notes in the thing to make their own like
Yeah.
parts and stuff like that. But depending on what you're using, it takes a while, and you already are
Yeah.
you're after school, so like that's way too much.
That, like, I would, if I had to do that on my own, I would be staying up late every single night and
Exactly.
burning myself out. And, for just to spend that money out of the budget so I don't have to do that, even
Hmm.
if the kids never see like it being worth it, it is worth it because I'm able to show up for them in other ways that I would not be able to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hmm.
Yeah. So that's a big cost. Another cost is a choreographer. Um,
Hmm.
that's a really large expense. And I've tried to keep it as low as possible by hiring people that are not super, super professional in the show choir space because it's its own little world. Um, but you get the better quality when you hire someone that
Absolutely.
knows exactly what they're doing. And so it's kind of been me tweaking stuff here and there to make it work for my students because I know somewhat. I do not consider myself a dancer, but I know enough to where I can modify stuff to make it work for my students.
Nice. Okay.
Some choreograph or some choral directors choreograph their own groups.
Hmm.
I wouldn't recommend that unless you're like consider yourself a dancer.
Yes.
Um,
Absolutely.
so that's a big cost, and then the other biggest cost is travel. Um,
That makes sense.
you know, but we're working on a budget of roughly $20,000 to $25,000 a year when I sit down and put all the stuff in Excel. Um, and the groups they compete against have a budget of 100,000 plus. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yep. That makes
I know
sense.
someone who spent $40,000 just on their costumes for their group this year. Yeah,
Do what you gotta do, I guess. But like, that's
yeah,
insane. Oh my God.
yeah. So, and I mean, it adds to that effect when they're on stage because they have the professional costumes, they have professional choreography, professional musical arrangements,
Mhm.
like insane setup for set behind them, and they have money for props. And, you know, it's just, it adds to that and it snowballs. And I remember I
Yeah.
went to conference, I went to Show Choir Camps of America, which great conference, love going, learned so much, made a lot of connections. The first year I went, they did this project while we were there, and we got
Mhm.
split up into different groups of people. And our group was given a scenario at a school, and we had to come up with a show design based on the budget and the demographics and everything at our said school. And I was in the group that had unlimited budget, and
Mhm.
our group it got voted on by like judges or whatever, and our group won because we could have the most
Yeah.
things. Yeah,
Outlandish stuff and just like to add like stuff that
yeah,
doesn't even make sense because you're just throwing away money at that point. So like,
yeah.
okay. Yeah.
So I think the difficult part for like being as an educator in that position is having to tell your students, you have worked so hard and I appreciate the hard work that you've put in, but you have every odd stacked against you that could be
Mhm.
there, and you have no control over that, and I really don't either at the end of the day.
But
Um,
also, I like the point
it's
that you
just
made that
discouraging.
like you're preparing them for the transition to high school. Like this is just a taste. So like no, you won't probably place, but like you're getting to do a little bit of traveling here. You're working towards because I'm assuming the high school program is bigger. And then because they
Yeah,
have the divisions based on the sizes, like your competition is getting more fair. So like it does suck
yeah,
as especially as a middle schooler to like kind of go into something knowing that the odds are stacked against you, but at the same time, like if they are still able to do their best and like excel and grow a lot, that's going to be a better place for them when they get to high school and the competition has now
yes,
evened out because they're used to being underdogs and now they're like they don't know, of course, or if they probably won't put it two together until after their first competition that like, oh, okay, no, this is actually more fair. So like they end up placing their freshman year after like 2 years of like having the odds stacked against them. Like they're like that just renews it and it keeps it going. So like it's tough being
yeah,
that teacher that like serves as the transition, but like you're doing an awesome
yeah.
job of like what you have and like also keeping up the spirit and the interest from the students. So
I
like don't
try.
sell yourself too short. Like you're doing great.
It's just, it also does feel like everyone has an opinion on what you're doing in the classroom, and
Oh,
they have no
absolutely.
idea what you actually deal with behind the scenes. So, I try and make it a positive experience for the kids,
Mhm.
no matter if we win or lose. Um, because that's what it's about at the end of the day. I mean, it's show choir. It's
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 so
show
they will be
choir.
all right.
And
They are
you know,
getting they are moving, they are singing, they are having fun, and that's the three main things. They are not being little hoodlums in the street. Like that's like at the end of the
yes,
day, that's what after school programs are for, to give these kids
yes,
something to do. So like
yes.
if you don't like it, you are more than welcome to pitch in either monetarily or physically and come to these rehearsals and learn this choreograph and help them out. Like
Right. Like,
exactly,
if you want to help, send me an email. You can write a check. You know,
exactly.
like
Like
if we want to see it do anything else, but that's not what it's for. And I think a lot of directors in the show choir space and professionals in the show choir space and even like parents that have been in it for years and years, we forget that at the end of the
mhm,
day, it's not about who takes home the grand champion trophy. And like, yes, that's all good and nice, but that's not why we're here. And I think
absolutely.
school districts forget that as well.
Oh, absolutely. Especially in this like post-COVID era of like the fact that you're still having interest from these kids as well, the fact
Yes.
that you're still having these programs running at all, like it's just, I'm not to be like kids these days, but also like kids these
But
days
like,
are
yes.
different and like they're a little less sociable, and especially
Mhm.
just choir in general, I'm imagining is hard for middle school, especially middle school boys. I think from the general consensus, we're talking to a couple other choir friends, like middle school boys are really shy and then their voices are changing as well. So it's also just a very insecure time. Now you're adding costumes, movement, dancing, all of that. So
And
like
it's gay.
yes, yes. I was literally about to
So
say that.
gay.
It's like it's okay.
Show
And
choir is
and
so gay.
now let's be real. As a gay person, like let's be real. Most of them are going to turn out to be gay. The majority are
I
probably going to turn out to be gay.
literally
Um,
have so many gay friends because of show choir
so
and just choir. Like I understand it, but not all of them were.
no,
So
not all of them were, and it's about having fun at the end of the day. And if
yes,
it gets them away from screens and interacting with another, talking to each other in
yes,
person, and like
yes.
making eye contact, which is also something that they're not good at nowadays. Like
I have had
that's
to
what it's
ban
about.
iPads from my rehearsals.
Oh my gosh.
iPads. I have had to say if we're on a 10-minute water break, you can drink water and speak to each other. You do not go grab that iPad. Because they will. They will go grab that iPad and get on Roblox like that. And a lot of them will get together and they'll like make TikToks together, and that's fine. I'm cool with that.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's still
but
social.
if you're
That's
sitting
interacting.
there, yeah, and they're like dancing together and having fun. That's great. I love that. If you're sitting over there in the corner, nose in your iPad, no. Like we can't we can't do that. We cannot. Because they will just stare at that and then they stare at the Chromebook all day in their other classes. And I think that has been the real downfall of the education system
Mhm.
is they are glued to that Chromebook 24/7. Because they have literally gotten rid of all textbooks. Um,
Really?
yeah. Um, I have
Oh,
not seen a textbook since I've been an educator. Um,
really?
yeah.
Okay.
So they have, or in my school at least, and this is most schools in America, they have
Mhm.
one-to-one devices. They carry their Chromebook everywhere they go with them. Um, all of their reading, all of their, math, science, whatever, most of it is on the Chromebook. Um, they're using it constantly. And
Oh, that's a little dystopian.
it's really like I try and make like my choral classroom a tech-free zone um, as much as possible. I'm like, any bell ringers we're doing on paper. Um, music is obviously printed in your choir binder.
Yeah.
They're not even allowed to have or in my choir classroom, they're not allowed to have any backpacks at their seat. Like,
Okay.
we are unplugged in there. I try and be unplugged as much as possible. I do use my iPad for like music stuff, but you
That's
know,
pertaining to the lesson. That's okay.
yes, yes. But they are not allowed to have any technology during the class.
I
Um,
love that. I love that so much.
Now, if you ask me about my general music classes, that's a different story. Um, but I also that's a hot take is general music beyond sixth grade. If they wanted to be in a music class, they would have picked band or choir or theater. Um,
Ooh, okay.
that's my hot take. Um,
Okay. That's fair. I think I see the thinking point of it because they had access to it, and like I know some students are shy or they think for some reason. I talk to non-musicians all the time and they're like, I want to get into music, but I just don't know theory. And I'm like, you don't need to know all that. Pick up an instrument or sing or
no,
something like that. Just do it. It's fine. You'll figure out that stuff later if you want to. But like,
right,
you'll be okay. No, I
right.
get that. I see what
But
you mean. I see the vision. Okay.
because since I've been at my current job, I've taught general music all 4 of these years that I've been
Mhm.
here. Um, The students that I get in general music are students that did not pick an elective on their choice sheet.
Oh,
They get placed into that class because they need an elective on their schedule. And either the elective that they picked was full or they just didn't pick one at all. So they get placed in my general music class. So it's kids that one, don't want to be there, two, don't usually give a crap about much. Um, and three, if they wanted to do anything musical, they would have picked band or choir or theater. You know,
gotcha.
we
Okay.
offer all three at the school that I teach at. So it is
Mm.
there and it is not a secret to them. Like we have all of our programs have outreach days with the younger groups. We perform for them. It's not a secret to them. Or it shouldn't be unless they're just, you know, which happens. But if they want to be in that classroom, they usually end up in the choir or band or theater classroom. Um, so the demographic of kids that I get in general music, it's questionable to say the
Okay.
least.
It's very much, is it very much giving like the full-time sub type of
Yes.
energy? Okay.
I feel like a glorified babysitter. Um, because when I was a younger educator in like my first 2 years, I would attempt to teach them things. I even wrote a grant to have a classroom set of pianos for my classroom, and I got the grant. And so I have 29 keyboards sitting in the back of my classroom that I did use that I can't use anymore because they will destroy them.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Just like banging too hard, or just not, just like actively destroying things.
They will, or they just don't care, so they'll destroy the headphones that go with it. They'll just throw them everywhere. They'll bang on it really hard. And they're not super sturdy keyboards, like they're
Oh,
not they're not high quality.
yeah.
This is public education. So,
So,
you know,
okay, yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
yeah. And every single time I would try and do a lesson that was interactive, or I would use like rhythm sticks or like bucket drumming and stuff like that, it would be engaging for about 10 minutes. And then we had 35 minutes left of the class period. And they would get bored of whatever we were doing and start acting up. So at that point, it's kind of turned into a class where they do worksheets on the computer that I give them all the answers to in a PowerPoint. And if they submit that, check, you did a great job. Because so much of those classes are me managing behavior.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I had a kid
Oh,
cuss me out this week. It was a
in
terrible
general,
week.
music, just skip.
Yeah.
Don't come, like, don't even come to me if you're gonna cuss me out. Just skip. Oh my gosh.
Well, see, the other thing about the middle school level is it's different at the high school level. If they
Hmm.
teach or if they take a general music course at the high school level, that's counting towards their graduation as their art credit.
Hmm.
At the middle school level, the only thing that they have to pass to move on to the next grade level is their core classes.
Mm, okay. So they
And
really
they
don't
know
care about
that.
attendance. Oh
No.
God. So
Um,
that's so interesting too,
and they
because
get
normally
told
they get told that. Oh my gosh. No, that's setting
by
y'all up.
counselors. They'll get called into the counselor's office and they'll be like, you have to pass your core classes to go to the next grade. If you don't pass, or if you fail two of your core classes, we will retain you in the grade that you're in. But if you pass three of your core classes, we'll promote you to the next grade. So you don't even have to pass all four of their core. Um,
Mm,
they're like, make sure you get that work done first. And then if you have extra time, you can worry about, general music work, but that doesn't count. And they know it doesn't count. So they don't care to do it anyway. So I just do feel like a
mm,
glorified babysitter. Um,
dang. Okay. Yeah, that is a lot.
It's
That's so
it's
interesting too, because
depressing.
why wouldn't they just put them in PE? And again, nothing against the
Well,
physical
they have
education.
to have a PE as well.
Oh, okay. So they've already satiated their PE credit. Oh,
Yep.
okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. So it's very discouraging. Um,
That's
because
fair.
like I could teach stuff and I've worked with younger kids before in like, general music settings. And it can be
Mhm.
really fun to do stuff with them like ukuleles and rhythm sticks and, let's like make a song together. Like that can be really fun. But once they get to middle school age, that kind of stuff goes out the window. Like,
Oh, that's so sad too, because then it comes back around in high school where I think general music high school classes have a little bit better luck with people that want to like write a song or like learn piano last minute or something like that. So like,
yeah.
oh God. See, and the crazy thing is that I would have probably ended up teaching middle school. I still think that I probably would have ended up teaching middle school just because I do like that age group, but at the same time, I just don't know them kids after COVID. So I love doing this podcast because it affirms me every single time that teaching is not working. So I talk to y'all.
Teaching middle school is like walking into burning flames every day. You have to be crazy to walk into the burning flames every day. Like, you never know what's going to go down in your classroom. And I've started doing this series on my TikTok where it's like things students said this week. And a lot of other educators do it too. And I think it's so funny because they just say the craziest stuff. Um,
I follow one. I think her name's Andrea or something like that, and she's I think she's like done all of it, like elementary, middle, high school, and even college, and like the stuff that each of the grades will say or something like that, and I'm just like,
Wild. You will get the most wild comments from middle schoolers. I had one the other day say, oh, what did she say? She said, "Are you wearing a ponytail because your hair is greasy today?" Well, yeah, I am. But why
oh
did you
my
have to bring
god.
it up? Another thing that has happened to me recently is so over the last 2 years, I've lost about 70 pounds.
Hmm.
Um, and some of the kids in my general music class went and found old photos of me on my Facebook. And they went around the school and they were like, Miss McMullan used to be fat. She used to be huge. She used to be this, that, and the third. And I'm like, it's too stunned to speak. Like, they're like, you look good now, though. And I'm like, still.
Whoa, 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 whoa. First off, let's not even talk about the fact that y'all have no like boundaries because why are you stalking me on social media? Second off, to go around the school and say I used to be fat and fat shaming is crazy. And then third off, the immaturity and just the literacy to not realize that like I look good no matter what size I am. Like you have a whole
Right.
ass man, you have a whole ass house. Like it doesn't matter what the fuck you look at. You're successful. You're married. Like what is
I'm
this?
like, I'm like, you're 13 and you smell bad. Like,
Exactly. You're not passing seventh grade math, and you want to come for me?
hello. You don't know what a fraction is.
Exactly.
You can't read.
What's
And
twenty
you're in
percent of
seventh grade.
100? Quickly, quickly.
Quickly, quickly, quickly. No, one of them the other day said something about a curtain and he was being smart aleck. And I said, spell curtain. And he went, C-A. No, no.
CA is crazy.
Hit
Oh
it
my
with slow.
god.
C-A. No.
No. Try the dictionary before you try me.
I don't think they would know what a dictionary is. They'd be like,
Oh,
I'm going to look at Google AI Gemini or whatever that is
oh
that pops up.
no. Oh.
Because I
Which
tell them to Google stuff all the time, and this AI stuff that pops up on Google now has been the worst thing to happen to Google, in my opinion, because they'll just read
um,
that and they won't read anything else.
mm-mm. Oh
We're cooked
no.
as a society. We're cooked.
I was literally about to say that. Oh, these are our future doctors. Okay. Okay.
There's not going to be any.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, let's end on a positive note. This is why I put in this segment to end it, so that way, in case the conversation spirals to we're done as a society, we can at least end positively.
I think any educator you talk to would probably spiral to that if they talk about what they do for too long.
Oh no, it's happened I think almost every week. So like like we get to that and then sometimes they pull it back, sometimes they don't. But it does get to that point where like when we get to the look of the eyes, it's like, why am I doing this? I'm like, okay, so let's wrap up. Like I'm not here to get anyone like a mental crisis or anything like that. I just
Oh.
Alrighty, so I just have a couple questions for you to kind of end positively, so that we're not feeling defeated, especially on your one of your two off days. So in the last couple years, like, what's like three things that you're proud that you've accomplished?
Hmm. I am really proud that I have been able to set boundaries with work, um, and make it sustainable for me,
Okay.
um, to where I don't feel burned out. A lot of educators and friends that I have will stay past contract hours and will do work on the weekends and will open their laptop when they don't need to. And at the end of the day, you're going to make the same paycheck.
Facts.
Like you have to like let stuff stay at school. And I think that's really important for younger educators and like freshly post grad to really dive into. Like you have to leave the stuff at work.
Hmm.
Um, and it's really hard to do it because you want your group to be the best it can be and you want to be the best teacher that you can be, especially when you're first out of school. But at the end of the day, you're going to get paid the same paycheck as, somebody that is down the hall that doesn't do anything, you know. So that's important. um Second thing that I'm proud of, um I feel like I've grown so much as an educator and as a person since I started teaching.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's really invigorated my people skills. I do feel like I can just talk to people in
Hmm.
the grocery store, or like I'm not afraid to get up and talk to a room full of parents, and you know that's it's boosted my confidence, I guess.
Yeah.
A lot of people would say that it probably didn't boost their confidence, but I think I've just been thrown into the fire and forced to be better, um, by my surroundings. Um, Third, you know, the thing that I really try to use as a measure of success for my ensembles is a performance assessment ratings,
Hmm.
um, because that the odds are not stacked against them, and I have control over that kind of stuff. And they've gotten superiors every year that I've been an educator. So,
Okay. Yeah.
so like, and when you get that feedback from like, adjudicators that are older, they're retired, or they're like
Hmm.
very seasoned and they're giving you positive feedback, that does good for my heart. And when
I
I
love
have hard
that.
days, sometimes I have all those sheets in a folder in my closet in my office. And sometimes if I have a
Mhm.
hard day, I'll look at those sheets.
Mm.
Um,
I love
like
that.
it's day in and day out, and some days are way harder than others. But at the end of the day, if you're putting in the work every single day and you're being consistent, you're going to see those results at the end of the year.
Okay. Those are good. I love those. Yes. All right. So what's something in the near future that you're looking forward to?
Um, well, I'm excited to graduate with my master's.
Yes.
Um, I'm currently working on performance assessment music right now because we have ours in
Mhm.
April. So that's going well. Super excited for that. Um, I'm also excited to see where the program that I work in is going. I think it's going in a positive direction. So I'm excited to see how that develops over time.
Okay. Awesome. And then, do you have, we've dropped a lot, you dropped a lot of like a treasure trove of nuggets for new people. But is there anything that you want to add to people, like one more like golden nugget of advice for any recently people who are recently graduated or about to enter their first education job?
If you are not given a mentor, seek out mentorship. Um,
Seeking
there
mentorship. Okay.
there are people out there that will help you and that want to help you be the best that you could be, myself included. Um, and there are really seasoned teachers out there that will give you advice and mentor you, even though they may not be in your district. Um, People are out there to help you. So if you don't have mentorship, look for it and you will find it.
Okay. I think that's the first one too. I think that's a new nugget. And then lastly, are there any plugs that you want to put out there? Any personal ensembles that you're in, website, or like if your show choir has social media that you want people to follow?
My choir does have social media, but I'd kind of like to keep it on the DL.
That's fair.
Um, I didn't mention my school in this, even though I'll probably, people might see it, but you know, take it with a grain of salt.
It's
If you're ever looking for a clinician or an educator or anything like that,
fine.
send me an email, Miriam Howell 23 at gmail.com.
Okay, I like that. Yes,
Yes.
I'm gonna have to add that, like clinicians or anything like that. Yes,
Yes.
because I know you've done it a couple times for Val, right? Been a
Mhm.
clinician.
Oh, it's been so much
Okay.
fun. I love being a clinician. I hope that my career like segues into a lot more of that soon because it's so much fun.
Yeah, it's like a little travel. You work with
Yeah,
bands, you talk to colleagues in different areas and stuff like that. That does sound very fun.
it is fun. And you get to work with ensembles that you may not normally get to work with, which is always a
Hmm.
treat. And they're excited to have, or the ensemble is excited to have you there because you're a new face in front of them. So they'll do things for you easily that they won't do for their teacher. So
Hmm.
it's always,
I
always so
did
much
notice
fun.
that when we used to bring in people, it's like they were able to like get someone to like actually produce sound, and then the next day it'd be like, "Where'd you go?" Um, okay, that is fun. I'll have to add that. But thank you so much for joining this. This was a very fun conversation, especially after
Thank you
a
for
not
having me.
great yesterday that we talked about earlier. So this was very refreshing. And thank y'all for listening to this another episode of Let's Talk About It. And hopefully we'll see you next week for our next guest. Bye.